Good morning. It's Ron Brown. It's July 5th. It's 10 in the morning Central Time. I'm going to show you what I've been working on the past week. I've been rearranging some files and adding new charts and so on. And it's just to make my workflow more efficient. And these new files I'm going to go ahead and put up for Insider Club members, and there will be a new link. So if you're still with the Insider Club, you'll have access to the files. If you're not, you'll have to resubscribe. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm just calling this a continuation of this combining order flow and chart analysis with HGS Investor. This is video number 12 in the series, Intraday Money Flow and Prospecting with Modified Views, July 25th. Okay, as usual, any stock index or ETF mentioned in this presentation is not a recommendation to buy or sell. All trading strategies are used at your own risk. If you want the software for 30 days without a credit card, go to highgrowthstock.com and you'll see the link. And then I've been referring to a PDF that I have for order flow, and it's at hgsinvestor.com/context charts if you want the PDF. Okay, so let's get going. I've got my updating on manual just because it's more efficient when I'm doing these videos. So I'm going to update intraday now. As you can see, it takes no time at all to update all of the symbols that are in here if Thinkorswim is running in the background. Okay, the quotes are processed, and I'm going to leave it at that while I go through this video. But I want to do one more thing. I'm going to go in and I'm going to go to the industries, click on that, and under the tools menu, I'm going to rebuild the indexes in the group. And this is taking that same information that I just downloaded on individual stocks, and it's creating up-to-date groups. And that's how quickly it can be done. Now, I'm not going to update my user smart groups in this video. I'll save that for a different video. So I'm going to leave it at that. And now, when I sort over here on percent industry, you can see that some industries are up and some are down today. Where I am right here is in long-term leaders money flow in. And that's where I want to start. I want to start here and show you what I'm up to. So I'll bring this up to the top. This folder has been in there, and I'm going to cover a few things in there. But what I'm putting in here, or what I did put in, was a folder called Essential Warehouse Views. And these are the views that I use the most. And you can really get lost in this program. I realize that. So I'm just trying to make everything more efficient. Now, you don't have to do the top-down market analysis. If you don't want to, I suggest you should do. And I'll get into that in later videos. But here's market analysis, ETF analysis, HGSI generated index analysis, my daily scans that I use, and I've modified the order of this sum on this daily scan. For example, there's only 2 scorecard views here. I put the others in a separate folder. That's for people that maybe don't want any Chinese stocks in their scorecard and so on. You may not even ever use that, but I just wanted to get those out of this folder because I have a sequence that I can go down through, and if I don't get to this in this video, I will in another video. Okay, so I've added, I put the VPA gurus in a folder. They've been there, but I've moved them up. Wyckoff Williams and Kathar Marar, who provided the code for the VPA flags in HGSI. And then this is a new one. Customer requested this, pocket pivots with VPA flags on the same day. That will catch a lot of stocks that are just turning around. Lower risk setups, I put this in, and I'll cover that, maybe not today, but it's something that I'm experimenting with. And by the way, these may change, and if they do, I will let you know and have you modify your files if you're an Insider Club member. Okay, pocket pivots, lower risk setups, bullish and bearish, undercut and rally, and then context, micro, short, intermediate, and long-term trends. So you can just, if you're looking for stocks that are trending up with the fan up, you just click on that on the intraday, and it you know that every stock in this list has the fan up. And if you go over here and look at this on the far right side, you'll see that this says yes all the way down, because these are stocks that are trending up with the fan up. So you're going to find the strongest stocks in this group. Look at the names here. There's Metastock. Let's see, Netflix is in here. That just hit a 52-week high again today. D-Dog is in here. Costco is in here, and so on. If you're looking for short-term stocks that are just turning up, you go to the micro trends in intraday, and these stocks, well, I'll just bring one up. And I'll bring a different context chart up. And you can see that these, well, the 6 is crossing there, or the 18's, I'm sorry, the 6 crossed the 18 today, but at the end of the day when these were calculated, just 3 was above the 6 on this chart here, right here. So this is a short term up, but now you can see that it's gaining a little momentum here with this going up. So I've got all kinds of good stuff in here to cut down on processing time, and depending on what you're looking for. Before I spend time on scans in this video, I want to show you what I'm doing with the charts. I'm just going to make this chart full screen here, and I have this folder I call context charts, and these are all white charts. I didn't put it together with black charts yet. I probably will, but anyway, here's a why don't we get a well-known symbol up here, NFLX. So here is Netflix breaking out today, as you can see. Daily end of day, no VPA. Here's the same chart with VPA added. Here's the context chart with the 3, 6, and the 18. And an MACD. A lot of people like the MACD. I really don't see that it has that great a functionality, but anyway, I put it in there. The reason I'm not crazy about it, yeah, you can see right here that the 3 and the 6, the stock was losing some momentum, and you can see it here on the histogram, but on the MACD, it looks a lot worse, like the momentum's really falling off here and back here, and it was actually setting up to go higher. But you can see the same thing in this histogram. You can see the ebb and flow of momentum, and I just like that better visually. But you know, it's individual preference. It doesn't really matter. You have both. Okay, that's one contextual chart. Here is the other contextual chart, which is right here, and it says no VPA, but this shows the relationship of the 3, 6, 18, 50, 100, and 200. If you look over here to the far left, it tells you where the price is relative to these moving averages, and you can see it down here. Here's the micro trend, the 3 and the 6. Here's the short-term trend, the 6 and the 18, and the 18 versus the 50. Obviously, on Netflix, these are all going to be positive. Okay, so that's one, and then here's the same thing with VPA. So it's just convenient to look at this chart and to figure out the structure by looking at the candles. You can see the structure's up and the direction's up on all these. Then we get into some where the structure is down, but you don't see two lower lows, more than two lower lows anywhere in here. And here's the first lower low, here's the second lower low, here's the third lower low. So it looked like Netflix could have been changing direction right there, but then we have the 3 went back up through the 6, and guess where it found support? Right at the 18-day. You'll find that a lot. You'll find support at the 100, 200, the 50, and the 18-day. Now, when the 3's above the 6, I mean, that is very powerful, and you can see that it was oscillating in here. Right here, you can see it on this. But there were no more lower lows. In fact, this pivot here is higher than this pivot than any of these pivots. You're looking for a series of higher pivots also. Okay, anyway, that's that chart. And here is some help for us right here. After this, here was a test, confirmation of that test, another test, confirmation. So what I want to do is give you a visual with the VPA and, of course, the VPOC down here, or volume point of control. The next one is daily support based upon the zigzag indicators. That's what these dotted lines are. No VPA. Weekly candlestick VPA flags, relative strength to the S&P up here. And then here is a plain chart where I put the support and resistance in. Now, if you don't want those on there, you just go to support and resistance line and you make these invisible. Then you just have a naked chart where you can look at structure, and then you can also look at direction. This was scary right here, but it soon turned around. Okay, now I've added some visual filter backtest charts in here, and this is my continuation up and down. What happens, the requirements for a continuation are that the 3 be above the 6, and there's a pocket pivot, a 2-day pocket pivot, or an effort to rise, and that will produce a green bar like this. So these are continuation buys. On the other side, if you get a red bar like this, it means that all the conditions are met to the downside. Now, you get a red bar here, a rose bar here, but the 3 is above the 6, so you don't get a sell signal or an alert. So looking at Netflix, and let's zoom out a little bit here, you can see that there are all these continuous buy signals. Let's go in, let's look at NVDA. Okay, now, right here there were some sell signals because the 3 was below the 6, and then it turned around here, and then here's a continuation. Look at all these continuation bars here. Look back here as it was coming off of this. So this chart is meant as a visual to show you when there's strong buying based upon pocket pivots and or an effort to rise, and the 3 being above the 6. Okay, the next one. These bars represent up and down VPA flags. So when there's a rose bar, it'll be negative VPA flags. When there are green bars, that indicates a positive VPA or bullish. This one here, number 11, is just 3-6 crossovers, both up and down. And this next one, visual filter backtest, it uses a filter from the warehouse view. So if I'm scanning on, okay, well, let's just use this intermediate trend up. Let's see if this works. So this tells you when the conditions for an intermediate trend are meant. You see these blue bars here? All of these intermediate term up with the fan up. All of these histograms are above the zero line, and consequently, when all those conditions are met, you're going to see the transfer of the filter from the warehouse view into the chart. Let's look at Metastock. So all conditions are met here. Let me make this full screen. It's easier to see. So all the conditions are met for the uptrend and above the flag. Now see where this turned white? If you look down here, you'll see the 3 went below the 6 at that point. So it was no longer trending. Now, this probably is not a great example of the use of this. Let me go back in here. Let's find something else here. I'll just go to my daily scans, and this time let's go to the continuation indicator. And let's use Broadcom as an example. So when the blue bars come up, this is an example of the continuation. But it's coming from the warehouse filter. So any warehouse scan that you're using, if you're using this chart, it translates that into this view. And then finally, my last contextual chart, at least so far. And there may be more, and there may be rearranging. Somebody requested that we have a chart with warehouse information over here with fundamental information. So using Broadcom right here, I'll stay here. I put the RS ranks in, if it's an HES box or not, the percent of institutions, buy sell recommendations based upon, this is the recommendations and the change, book share, book valuation per share, cash flow, gross profit margin, so on. And then in addition to that, of course, you have the drop-down window here where you can see the earnings growth. So you can modify these, or if you would rather have some other views in here, just let me know and I'll put them in. But those are the contextual charts, which gives us the ability to scan and quickly see if these stocks are meeting the conditions of these charts. And I may be adding more. To get, for example, to get the contextual charts, well, that's content. Sorry, I went to the wrong one. Continuation up and down. I just attach the filters to the chart, and then when these conditions are met or true, you're going to get a signal. So the work that I've done so far, I will include in the new add-on. Like I said, there's going to be a new link. If you want these charts, you have to be a member of the Insider Club. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to a folder which was already in here. The market is open. Let's do an update here. I'll just bring up this. I'm going to update intraday now. Normally I would have this running in the background every 5 minutes, but when I do these videos it just slows me down too much, so because the charts need to be redrawn. Okay, now I'm going back to the designer. I want a fresh look at the industry, so I'm going to go to Tools, Rebuild Indexes and Groups. Takes no time at all. Now I'm going to go up to the prior folder, which has been in here, and I want to, since the market's open, I want to see what's happening intraday. Now, this is all securities based upon industries up, and you can see Precious metal and mining are up. Mining services. Look at that. Medical devices and so on. The next one is based upon individual demand. So you can see that there's a shipping stock that comes to the top based upon demand. It's up 7.65 today. Trading at the top of its range, volume's up about 300%, gapped up 3.68. Has a rating RS of 90, crossed over 20 days ago on the 3.6, and the VPOC 12 days ago. Just going to bring this chart up. And you can see with the contextual chart, and I didn't pre-plan this, I just picked on this, but I can quickly see just using this continuation chart where this came off of the 3 crossing the 6 right here, and that was 20 days ago. And then look at a 2-day pullback, 2-day pullback. No, just a 1-day pullback really, but all these continuation flags. So you can see that this is valuable. Now if I want to go down to the fundamental chart, I can see right here what the ranks are if it's a box stocks, and get all the profit information. So I think you'll like these charts. Let's look at the VPA signals. These are down signals, up signals, up signals. I'm really partial to the continuation chart because it shows sustained buying interest. Okay, so that's just a stock that I plucked out of there. Let's take a look at LG Display. It doesn't have a good RS, but this is their big television appliance manufacturer. And look at this. Here is a pocket pivot on this trend. The context is down. This is the 200, the 100, the 50, and the 18. But the 3.6 crossed over back here. You can see that. And this has been on the move. It's a cheap stock, but you can see continuation move, continuation move, continuation move, continuation move. And then let's just take a look at the fundamentals on LG. Nothing too exciting. Negative. That's probably why it's is why it's been on a downtrend. But okay, so this is money flow. Now let me show you something else here that you can do. You can bring the ranking module into this. I'm going to click on the ranking module and bring this up. And what I have this set on is Wilder relative strength, number of weeks 14. And I have found over the years that the strongest stocks based upon Wilder are going to be at the, this is a buyout, so we can't. But here's a stock that I'm not familiar with, Endeavor Group, but look how strong the chart is recently. So this little trick, here's a stock that I'm in right here, ASTS. Look how strong this chart is. Look at the weekly over here. It's been moving up sharply. Here's that Golar. And if I go to the other end, and I get to the other end by hitting my N key on the keyboard, you're going to find the weakest stocks here. So it's just another trick. If you don't want to spend a bunch of time looking for the strongest stocks, you can open the ranking module, make sure that this is set on Wilder 14 weeks. It's going to recalculate, and these stocks, here's Walmart, for example. Very strong chart. Because if I had a chart with Wilder in it, it would be up in the upper part of the Wilder relative strength. So I use this quite a bit just to any group of stocks that I'm looking at. I can quickly send them to the ranking module and I'll find the strongest stocks at the top of the list. Okay, so anyway, let's move on a little bit here. Time always gets away from me in these. So I want to see right now the money flow in, but I'm primarily interested in the sector stocks, the S&P 500 sector stocks, because this is where the activity is with the big money. Now, this is the industry's up. You can see over here, strongest industry is materials and then healthcare and so on. But I'm more interested right now in the demand. What stocks are most in demand here within this? There's 125 stocks up here, which pass this filter intraday. And which ones are most in demand? I'll click on 3A. You can see it says intraday demand. And Constellation Brands, if I'm sorted on raw combo, comes to the top of the list. Let's just take a look at it. Well, short-term demand, ugly chart. Now, if I bring the ranking module up, out of these 125 stocks, you can see that Constellation Brands is not at number 101 based upon Wilder 14 weeks. What's on the top? I'll click that and I'll hit my home key. I'll go to the top and there's Walmart and Google and Costco and Apple. So these are the strongest stocks. Let's just quickly go through them. Walmart, Google, Google, Costco. So what do I know about these stocks? I know from the warehouse view that they're moving today because it's money flow in S&P sector stocks intraday demand. Now, if I want to limit my choices to stocks that only had a VPA flag, I'm going to click on this one, and then you look over here and you see what the VPA signal was. Now, here's one with an effort to fall, which is up today slightly. Let's take a look at it. Well, it had an effort to fall up here, but buyers are coming back into it. Now, where does that stand in the ranking module? It's number 13, so a pretty strong chart based upon Wilder. An ugly chart here, but strong based on Wilder. So you can see how you can go back and forth, find the strong charts in a hurry. There's Constellation Brands. That's the one I looked at earlier. Let's look at WestRock. Pretty decent chart. Now see, there's only 37 securities in here, so let's go to the ranking module. WestRock is right here at number 8 out of 37. Let's look at T-Mobile. Pretty strong chart here. Okay, if you're an HDSI user, you should start incorporating that ranking module to get a quick read on any group of stocks that's in here. Now let me go a little further with this. I'm not going to go too far with this, too lengthy with this. Okay, this is industries down. You can see the industries are down. Intraday supply, Southwest Airlines is at the top of the list. You can see that it's a weak chart and it's weaker today. Weekly chart is weak. Let's look at the ranking module. So even in stocks that are down, this stock is clear down at number 122 based upon, out of 284 stocks, based upon the Wilder relative strength. So it's very poor. Now if I go up to the top, here's NetApp. It's down today. Money flowing out today. Should be a strong chart. There it is. So rather than a bunch of chart flipping, you can quickly find the strongest chart, even for stocks that are down today. The ones that are going down may just be a temporary correction, and buyers will come back in and take them up again. Okay, now if you're interested in stocks trading weekly options, here's intraday demand and here's intraday supply. So here's Metastock, Chewy. This is a meme stock now. What's his name? Can't think of it. Said he had a position. All these fools rush in on this day because he announced it on Reddit, and those who chase near the top are sucking air, I should say. For around 35, it's trading for between 24 and 25 now. They just keep falling for that crap. I'm sorry about that, but it's irritating to see people lose their money like that. Okay, so weekly options. If you like box stocks only, I have one in there. Percentage price change up stocks and groups. I put this in here just to get a quick read on market strength. These are stocks and groups. There's 1178 up and 2300 down. So you can, even though the strong stocks, the big cap stocks, show a strong market, you look at this and you can see underneath the market, it's not a strong market. The comp is up 125 points today. And once again, this is just a quick read. 1178, that's 2-to-1 negative. Now, money flow in, if you like ETFs, for trading ETFs. And this, you apply these last two, 15 and 16, to industry groups. But I'm not going to do that. For those of you who like to trade options, this really shows you where the money is flowing in these groups. Now let's do this trick one more time. There's a stock that I own right here. I'm in the stock, I'm not in options, and then Walmart and so on. I mean, this is where you can make good money on debit spreads if you get in when there's a slight pullback, especially. And the money is just flowing to strength. There's no doubt about it. Let's look at Apple. Okay, now here's the fundamental chart. Look at Apple here. Let's go to get a continuation. Whoops, wrong one. Here's continuation on Apple right here. All these were buys. Not getting continuation now because you can see it pulled back 3 below the 6. It went above it again, but we're just not getting those pocket pivot buys here on this right now, although the stock continues to move up. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it at that. The video's getting pretty long. I hope you had a safe July 4th weekend, and I will get these stocks or these new views and so on incorporated into the add-on file, and when I send the information out to the Insider Club, I will have the new link. So the other files will still be there for the old link, but these are the files that I'll be updating in the future. Thanks for listening. Have a good weekend.